Yes.
I don't know if this is right, but they could give her like a bonus, shall I say, or extra money, so that they as a family can go back to Brazil to like visit. Because it didn't mention anything about them having like gone back to visit back home. And it says something about like encouraging her family, Anna to maybe go back so she can stay in the loop of what's going on within the company, so she doesn't feel so maybe left out.
I thought about it, but then it seems to me that the only unhappy person is the husband, and it's not that he wants to just visit; he just wants to go back. End of story. So yeah.
It just seems like Anna is like 50-50. She'll sway either way. So yeah, I don't know. I just felt like she was feeling more inclined to go back, because I mean they also offered her work back in Brazil to work in Bolivia and all of that. So she wasn't really pressed necessarily to stay in Europe, and she was just trying to tell the guy, look, if you don't bump the cheese up, I could be gone.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. But okay, this is called the home leave bonus, and it's to give them money to go back every now and then, to be back at headquarters. I don't want to spend too much time on this point. I personally don't think it's applicable, because the home leave one is also to go back to headquarters, but headquarters is precisely where she is. And then, yeah, but anyway, it doesn't matter. As long as there's a good motivation and no contradictory information. I don't remember the case study in and out at the moment, but yes, sir?
So with regards to the kids, under allowances, shouldn't have given them education allowances, because you said something about international school and new horizons for the kids.
Yeah, so they go to an international school.
Yeah, but they didn't give them any education allowances. Was mentioned against that?
No, but okay, so I think that's when the theory becomes applicable or not. So if something's already in place, not because of an allowance, but because they can afford it or it's already happening, then it's not needed. So there are a lot of international schools in Brussels, because it's where the EU is headquartered in a way. Okay, it's not mentioned, but we know. So it's probably very easy to get an international school at an affordable rate, and they're already going to the school, and the kids are very happy. They want to stay in Belgium. Yes?
So under bonuses, it mentions contract termination payments, which means that the body or whatever gets paid at the end of the contract. So if Anna left before she got done with the contract, then she wouldn't get paid for this.
Yes. Was this an allowance or a bonus?
Bonuses.
Okay. So there is a bonus called contract termination, and it's encouraging the expat to stay. So it's something that's paid out when the assignment is completed. So if she stays in Belgium for 3 years, then she gets, I don't know, $500,000 or whatever it is. So that's applicable, because she wants to go back, and she's asking for more money. So that extra money could come in the form of this bonus. So that's applicable. 4 marks. 8 to go. Yes. Can you use the mic, please? Thanks.
A promotion at the end of assignment.
A promotion at the end of the assignment. Yeah.
Because I think there's somewhere where she mentions that the company policy states that after 2 international deployments,
Yes.
you are entitled to get a higher position.
Yeah, it's correct. It would also be correct to put it under the heading of planning repatriation. So that's one of the things mentioned in the chapter. It's not an allowance, it's not a bonus, it's some kind of approach that it's a best practice to be followed to plan repatriation. So for example, to state it explicitly, when you're done with this assignment, this is what is going to happen to your position. You're going to become a manager, and you're going to be, you can stay put because now you're a partner or whatever it is. So to plan repatriation. There is some hint in the case study that there could even be a renewal of this international assignment. So the HR manager hasn't really stipulated what's going to happen afterwards. It's like, yeah, I was even thinking we could renew this. So everything is kept very loose, and that creates a sense of uneasiness and not security, right? 6 marks. Yes.
Under the other solutions, they can also shorten the international assignments.
Yes.
By shortening the length of the assignment will help the entire family know that they won't be in the foreign country for too long.
Okay.
From the evidence you said. As I was saying, maybe we need to shorten the assignments. I've already been very productive here, but
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so one solution is also to shorten the assignment in general. So Anna is saying, look, in this company we have assignments for 3 years as a standard practice. I think it's too harsh on couples. You guys should have shorter assignments, you know. And she even says maybe 3 months, so which is a big shortening. All right, but that's a possible option that you can put in place. Yes?
So I just want to clarify, so you have the 3 HR solutions, which is planning, repatriation, shorter assignments, and using single people. But then there's things like compensation and expatriate services. Does that also apply to HR solutions?
Yeah. I've included a few revision slides just after this question, just to clarify in case you have a few doubts. But basically that whole expat session starts off with saying, why do we use expats and what kind of expats can we have? And then it mentions the problems that arise, and after the problems, it basically gives you a few best practices like shortening the assignment, choosing younger people, planning repatriation, and then it goes into the compensation package. That's also a kind of solution or encouragement for expats to do better. So you've got a base salary, you've got allowances and bonuses. Any other ideas? No? Okay, let's proceed. I think that's fair enough, but I think you get the idea. Yeah?
So what if the cost of living allowance is just not enough? Would they perhaps opt for an overseas premium? Or what would the difference be between the two?
Look, it's like often it is a combination. Here we're looking at what possible interventions could there be. Perhaps it's both, but not to the fullest cap, or just one of them, like a huge cost of living allowance or a huge overseas premium. But I mean, they each need to be kind of motivated. So most likely the cost of living allowance can only be justified up to match the increase in cost of living. It cannot just be like double the actual cost of living as a vehicle to give extra money. So you must choose the right category most likely. Of course, finance is going to query you. Why is this person getting such a huge cost of living allowance, but Belgium isn't Tokyo or whatever it is? Right, so one solution was to shorten the assignment, as Anna herself suggested that 3 years is too difficult for some couples. Planned repatriation, as Anna's repatriation hasn't been planned, and Anton even mentions a possibility of renewal. The cost of living allowance, we've talked about it. Overseas premium is a premium given for just extra hardships. It's a kind of bonus, and it's if living in that country is a bit more difficult, it's basically another vehicle to give the extra money she's asking for. The contract termination payment was mentioned, just giving a bonus if you finish your assignment. And there's also career counseling for the spouse. So we talked about we virtually talked about how the spouse can be a problem. and then the different support services that you can give to expats can be extended to the spouse too. So it doesn't look like they did a very good job with William, or whatever his name was, because they didn't really plan beforehand. Can he have, what kind of job is he going to have? So he's working in a lab, and after a few months, the head of the lab left, so he's basically doing nothing. So these things, they didn't do a good enough job, and you could have mentioned this too. Okay. Right, so just a recap a bit. So when it comes to expatriates, we said we looked already at the reasons why we use them and the problems that can arise. So with regards to support and solutions, just a bit of recap. So so this kind of support can happen before, during, and after. And in terms of broad areas of support that are not compensation stuff, you can have, for example, you help them with language and culture, with different courses, help them to go through immigration, not to make it too burdensome, to go through all the visas and whatever it is. Career counseling for the expat and the spouse. Mentoring also in the country. So imagine Anna is going to Belgium and she feels disoriented, but the manager of that division is her mentor, so she's helping them, she listens to her and gives her advice. Housing, schooling, and healthcare. So those basic services that you would have enjoyed maybe in your home country to be also offered in the new one. So here there are some schemes that are basically part of the country set up, but other companies would have their own schools or their own healthcare policy, and they sort of come in to make sure that they get a good treatment. Right, other solutions we mentioned, shorten the duration of the assignment. It's also an option to identify capable young people that don't have a family. It's just less burdensome, less commitments, less people to be happy about the new position. And to plan repatriation beforehand. So to give a very clear statement of what's going to happen after the assignment. So what's my direction? What next, Not to just feel that, okay, you're stranded in this new country and maybe you'll even go to, I don't know which other country, and you're not going to be happy. So promotion would also fit into this. So in the plan of repatriation, you would also talk about promotion. So am I going to get promoted? Will I get more money? Am I done with the expat things? All right, and then the compensation, which is made up of a base salary, allowances, and bonuses. So that's the formula. And the compensation is there to make it basically at least equal in monetary and living terms for the expat in the new situation. They shouldn't be worse off by working harder and going to a new country. Rather, they should be better off, or at least feel like that. It's not showing text, but okay, it's the salary, allowances, and bonuses make up this compensation. This is in your slides already, and I'll fix this. All right, so the practice with the salary is to match the salary. So this is the base salary that they receive monthly, let's say. And the basic practice is to match it to the salary in the home country. So on a basic level, it's like equal treatment. So whether you're working in Belgium or Brazil, you're receiving a comparable salary. So how do we make it more attractive from a monetary point of view? Is through the allowances and bonuses. So allowances make up for the extra costs of living in the new country or situation, whereas bonuses are about making up for the hardships. So allowances are more about costs. Bonuses are more like, oh, we pat you on the back because it's a hard country. It's very difficult here. Right? So you can have a housing allowance to allow you to have a similar kind of home to the one you had in comparable standards. Cost of living allowances, you know, the cost of living of, let's say, food is more expensive, clothing is more expensive, movies are more expensive, whatever. Allowances for tax differentials, so if you're taxed more and you end up with a lower monthly salary, you get an allowance to compensate for that. Education allowances, if schooling is more expensive and your kids are with you, this allowance helps you to not spend more money. And moving and orientation is for when you move to the new country, the company pays for your traveling to the new situation, to your international assignment, and also orientation. So any orientation courses are paid for. So these are allowances, so related to costs. Whereas bonuses compensate for hardship, inconvenience, or danger faced in the host country. So maybe there's a civil war and you still want to take the assignment, but you say, hey, I really want to be paid a lot of money, so that would be a bonus. They include overseas premiums. This is just the extra money that Anna is asking for just because it's so hard here. That will fall under overseas premium. Contract termination payment is that encouragement to finish the contract and you get a bonus at the end. Excuse. You get a bonus at the end if you complete your assignment. And finally, the home leave. So if your headquarters is elsewhere and you're encouraged to travel back to be at headquarters, link up with managers again, and on top of that, to visit family and so on, well, the home leave is this bonus that pays for that travel. So yeah, so that's the plethora of solutions, options. So, well, I think, you know, if you understand them, then you can, the chapter actually ends saying this is a very difficult formula, the compensation package and all the solutions, but if you know them, then you can sort of make your own recipe for helping an expat in a concrete solution. Right, last two questions. Okay, this was a quick one, 3 marks. If Anna were to get the position in Bolivia, which employee category would she fall under? A parent country national, a host country national, or third country national? And give a brief explanation for your choice. So 1 mark for correct employee category, 2 marks for the correct explanation, because by explaining, you also give me an idea that you understand what you're talking about. So that explanation includes theory and application in one. The floor is open. Okay.